Chief Meteorologist James Sahara and Storm Track 8 Weather, sponsored by Community Bank and Trust.
Welcome back, everyone. Yeah, still got some rains going on, but at least we're on a decaying side of some of these storms that are taking place. We take you west of the Quad Cities on our storm tracker, and you can see from Muscatine going to Cedar County, some of those heavy showers and thunderstorms slowly coming to an end. Good indication of the amount of lightning strikes that are taking place. So kind of falling apart, especially around West Liberty, but I would say we probably got a good inch of rain from that cell. Has some big time lightning going on in areas around Henderson County, Stronghurst, going to Biggsville, but even this began to fade away. Had about a good 1 to 2 inches of rain in a very short period of time in those areas. We take our way into Bureau County. Northern Bureau County has some very heavy rain there. Good at least an inch of rain near Malden, Lamoille as well. That's making its way off to the north and east. And finally, we make our way to Whiteside and Carroll County. A few showers going on here. Had a few thunderstorms going on, but now also begin to fall apart. Little activity being noticed in areas around the Savannah area. And that's kind of what we're seeing right now. And likely we'll be seeing this area of activity, at least the coverage, slowly begin to diminish even more as we head later on tonight. We also saw with 1 or 2 of these storms some funnel clouds. We had reports around Rock Falls and many reports even around the town of Galesburg. You can see where it is right there. This was sent in by Brian from just outside of Galesburg, and another one that was sent in by Kylie Norville, also out of Galesburg. So these funnel clouds could very likely be right back in our forecast even as we head into tomorrow. We certainly had conditions conducive to that yesterday, even today, and likely that's going to be the case come tomorrow. But with these storms that grow so rapidly and able to dump a whole lot of rain, there's one thing it lacks as far as allowing these funnel clouds to reach the ground, and that is to do the amount of shear. It's extremely weak, especially as you get to the surface. So even though you see this nice little spin up take place near the base of this cloud, you don't see much of that spinning, that change in wind direction and speed at the surface, and thus you see these funnel clouds only last for a very short period of time. But keep in mind, we could still see maybe 1 or 2 of those heading into tomorrow. Very rare to see funnel clouds actually reach the ground. So let's take a look at that forecast for those next round of storms after we see this area of activity begin to fade as we head later on tonight. Some broken clouds about, very humid night it will be. And with the lack of wind, keep in mind we could be seeing some of that patchy fog early tomorrow morning, maybe right around 7 a.m. Be ready for that. As we make our way to about the midday and early afternoon hours, we're right back at it again, folks, as we start seeing these showers and thunderstorms pop up. Steering winds aren't the greatest, so even though we're noticing most of the activity south of the Quad Cities come around lunchtime, these things can pop up anywhere in our viewing area. So we're going to have to keep a real close watch on that, and likely we're going to be seeing some pretty good rains with 1 or 2 of these storms. Wouldn't be surprised. Once that moves on by, then things begin to dry out very nicely. Daytime highs tomorrow, all depends on when that activity rolls in, but we'll say about low, maybe mid 80s from Galena all the way down to Burlington. Kewanee will about 83 degrees for you, 84 in Aledo. We'll say about 84 degrees also in the Quad Cities. Got to get through this cold front that will be making its way through here sometime by, I would say, maybe early tomorrow morning. Once that moves on by, then we start seeing some much better conditions roll on in, cooler and drier conditions for the rest of the work week. 69 degrees for the overnight low. Watch out for some of that patchy fog sometime by sunrise. Then by tomorrow, more of the same, later day showers and thunderstorms, and some of those could have some very heavy rain. But after Tuesday, oh, look at this nice refreshing air. Come on in, upper 70s, lower 80s. It won't be until later Sunday going to Monday that we start seeing some more active weather roll in. Not the greatest, it's Labor Day weekend. But
right, I was going to point that out.
yeah. Labor Day itself looks pretty wet, but at least we may actually get 2 out of 3 days.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that turns out, Jimmy.
I guess it's one of those that you have a nice Memorial Day weekend. You can't have a nice Labor Day weekend.
I've heard that.
You know, it's one of the other.
It just seems to balance out.
Well, it's time for our monthly Let's Go Quad City segment. It's all about this guy, James. Now, you remember, don't you?
I do.
Yeah, you got a little hurt there. What happened?
I ruptured my Achilles.
And you were just
playing basketball.
Yeah, exactly. And you're an old man, and so these things happen.
Vintage.
Yeah, and it takes a while to get better.
It really does. It all depends on the extent of the injury itself, and in those cases, yeah, it can last for a pretty long time.
Well, you know, the sports medicine team at ORAR Orthopedics is used to working on athletes and not necessarily meteorologists. Right. Yeah. But this week, as News 8's Angie Sharp shows us, James's injury earlier this year is actually one a lot of people can learn from. I know I am.
James Zahara is in the Weather Center with a first check of your forecast.
And a good night it will be for football going on this evening.
For nearly a quarter of a century, he's been forecasting the weather in the Quad Cities for WQAD News 8.
78 degrees.
Through rain, snow, sleet, and hail, STORMTRACK 8 Chief Meteorologist James Zahara has seen it all.
A little bit of some activity here and there.
What he didn't see coming was an injury that would take him away from the green screen for weeks.
Back in January when I was playing some basketball with some friends of mine, and it just happened to happen on the very last play where I was going for a rebound and I heard a pop.
James tore his Achilles tendon, but didn't know that right away.
I realized I could not put weight on it.
Little numbness and tingling?
Yes.
Okay.
So he went to ORA Orthopedics, where Dr. Sean Wynn repaired the tear and got James back on his feet. Well, sorta.
He's got to make his way to the weather department. So, James, can you get over here?
Yeah,
here we
I
go.
can get over here.
James returned to work after 2 weeks with a new set of wheels and a lot of sympathy from his co-anchors.
Basket's on. Hello Kitty. Check.
Did Jim and Denise make it easier for you or harder for you?
Let me think about that. No. Well, once I got my scooter, they pretty much.
Is that the Dinger 200?
Yeah, they had some touch-ups to it,
It's time for the big reveal.
They knew how disappointed I was, about the whole process and how I was going to be kind of handicapped, going to be limited throughout my whole time coming back. But they were comforting me in a funny way, I guess you can say.
I'm not a huge social media guy, but I have to admit, I did kind of check out some things and see what he was doing. And I think the most enjoyable thing I saw was the scooter modifications that were done by the WQAD staff.
Don't even tell me the scooter needs
But
to go
from that scooter to a boot to a brace, James was able to do the weather through it all and recover quicker than expected. And it's James' goal too. After all, his job is to tell you what you need to know so you can do what you want to do, and he loves doing it.
I'm already back seeing kids at schools. I actually had a question from somebody saying, Mr. Zahara, how long do you plan on doing this? And I would tell them, when it's not fun anymore. And I hope to do that for a real long time without any more injuries.
Let's move, QC. Angie Sharp, WQAD News 8.
So healthy, he can still put his foot in his mouth from time to time. It says it there. I'm not making that up. Oh my gosh. Well, Dr. Wynn says if you are hurt and you hurt yourself and it doesn't get better in a few days, it's better safe than sorry. And remember, laughter is a good medicine, but please get it checked out by a specialist. Still ahead, competing for students, the high stakes effort and why Illinois teens are deciding to continue their education outside their home state. Plus, swinging for the fences, the big donation from professional players and how it affects a Muscatine boy's effort to fight a devastating illness.